Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Finance with Avrin. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of the top 5 CD certificate of deposit accounts ranked by APY annual percentage yield for December 2023. Now, these accounts are offered by national banks and national financial institutions, so they're available online throughout the United States. There are some exclusion and exceptions in certain states and areas, and I'm also going to give an example of the interest calculations for each of these accounts with their APYs and how the interest compounds. Now, the financial institutions and banks that offer these accounts on this list aren't as well known to a lot of people, so you may be wondering or more hesitant about opening an account with these banks. I'm going to give a little background on each one of them, but now I do want to show you that there are CD accounts with high APYs offered by more well-known banks. However, they aren't in the top 5 list because the amount of the APY isn't up there with these banks, but there are some nice ones out there from more well-known banks. Like, check this out right here. Wells Fargo has CD accounts with APYs around 5% right there, depending on your relationship status with them, whether or not you have that. But even if you don't, you have APYs, 4.75% there, 5% there, depending on the term length. So they do have some nice CD accounts offered. Also, Capital One, major bank, well-known, they have APYs on their CD accounts around 5% or 4.40%, depending on the term right there. So that's a nice one right there at the 1 year at 5% offered by Capital One. And then you have Marcus by Goldman Sachs. They have a 12-month CD account at 5.30%. So very nice. And these don't have any kind of maintenance fee associated with them. And they are FDIC insured, like the accounts on my ranking list. And they have also a 6-month at 5.10%. You kind of go on their website and check out the different terms and APYs, 9-month at 5.15%. So these are nice APYs for nice term lengths with these accounts right here. They just aren't high enough to get on my ranking video. And also Ally has nice CD accounts as well with 5.10% on a 12-month, 5.05% on a 9-month, 5% on a 6-month. They definitely have some nice CDs as well offered with the high APYs. And then also Synchrony Bank. Synchrony Bank has a 5.30% APY on their 12-month CD, 5.50% APY on the 9-month CD. Now, number 5 on my list has a 5.65% APY. So this one almost got on my list. So as you see, there are some well-known banks and financial institutions with nice high APYs on their CDs as well. So if you're kind of hesitant on opening a CD account with some of the banks on this ranking list because you haven't heard of them or aren't too, trustworthy of them because they're not as well known, then definitely check out some of the more bigger banks out there and their CDs they offer. But if you're really chasing the APY and the high APY, definitely pay attention to the ranking in this video. All of these accounts are legit and they are FDIC insured. So even though you haven't heard of the bank, there are definitely legit bank accounts and banks themselves. And you can find more information about them online, of course, and through their websites and reviews and everything. And I'm going to tell you a little brief background about when they were founded, where the headquarters is at, things like that. But yeah, let's get on to the rest of the video. Now, before we jump into some of the requirements that all of these accounts have in common and things they have to make it on my list, I want to show you this chart right here. It's very interesting. Now, the trajectory of CDs, certificate of deposit accounts, has been upward, as you can see. And also, I do these videos every other month or so of the top CD accounts ranked by APY. And I also do ranking videos for savings accounts ranked by APY. And if you notice, if you've been seeing some of my videos or just paying attention to the landscape of these bank accounts and CD accounts, savings accounts, you've noticed they've been going up steadily. And they've been somewhat following the Fed funds rates. And when they've been hiking the rates, you'll notice sometimes banks and financial institutions will raise the rates of their saving deposit accounts, CD accounts and savings accounts. And so as you see right here on this chart, when the Fed made their first rate hike back in the early part of 2022, you can see how the CD rates have just been steadily going up right now. And they've been kind of, in the last few months, not going up as much, still kind of steady sideways, some upward movement here and there, depending on the term of the CD. And at 6%, you're going to get sometimes a higher APY with credit unions. So right now they're kind of around, 5-6%, some of them, not all of them, of course. But this video is just going to be on the national accounts right here because I want to reach a broader audience with these accounts. Credit unions often have stipulations with their accounts where you have to be a member of the credit union or live in a certain area. They have more stipulations. So I want to just focus on national accounts for this video. So you see this chart is very interesting because there is a lot of talk that the Fed may be done raising rates, or they may raise them one more time. So we're getting to the point right here where a lot of CD accounts and savings accounts may start tapering off, maybe to stay the same for a while with their APY, or they may start lowering them. If the Fed starts lowering the federal funds rate, then that may follow suit with, financial institutions lowering the rates that they're offering for their savings accounts and CD accounts. And with CD accounts, you can lock in a rate for a certain term, whether it be 6 months, 1 year, 14 months, there's just various different terms. So that could be a good thing to think about and look into if you want to get a high rate, 5% or something like that, and lock it in for a while. So no matter where the rates go, if they start lowering or just kind of staying the same, you'll have that rate locked in. And while I'm talking about rates locked in, now I'm going to go over some of the specific things that all of these accounts have in common. And if you don't want to, listen to this part, if you've listened to this part before, because I talk about this in every video, definitely check out the timestamps below. You can go right to the ranking if you want to. But let's talk about some of the things that all of these accounts have in common. And so these things that they have in common are also pretty much, some of them are requirements to make it on my list, like FDIC insured, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. That is a requirement to make it on my list. All of these accounts are FDIC insured, which means your amount of money in this account is protected. If something happens to this financial institution, if it goes under, bankrupt, something like that, the Federal Deposit Insurance will step in and make you whole, basically, and get your money back to you. And ever since the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation was formed, there has been no loss of deposits when a bank has gone under with FDIC insurance. So it has stepped in and protected customers that have had accounts with banks that have gone under a bankrupt. And typically the amount that's covered is up to $250,000. And that's going to be the amount that with these accounts right here I'm talking about on this video are covered up to. Sometimes I say, if you have over $250,000 you want to, put in CD accounts, spreading it out to different CD accounts is a good idea. There are some financial institutions that offer more than $250,000 FDIC insurance because they spread out your money basically themselves to other partner banks and program banks that they have that work with them. And so FDIC insurance was created during the Great Depression to provide confidence and protection for customers and depositors with banks. And so very important, any kind of financial account that I deal with my money, I definitely want to make sure they have FDIC insurance. It's very important. And all of these accounts on this video are FDIC insured. And next up here, fixed rate APY. So all of these rates in this video are fixed. So whatever term that they're applied to, some of these accounts are 6 months and some of them are 12 months. The rate that you see will be locked in for you for that amount of time that the term of the CD is. So these rates are not variable. They will stay that rate no matter what happens. Like, for instance, if you open an account with one of these 12-month CDs at 5.66% or 5.67%, whatever it is, you'll have that rate locked in for that 12 months. So no matter if 2 months from now that specific CD with that bank goes down to 5% or 5.25%, that doesn't pertain to you because you've already got the rate locked in for that 12 months. So each month your rate's going to stay the same. Now that does work the other way. If they do raise the rate, then you're still going to keep that same rate that you have. You won't get that higher rate. Now there are bump up CDs and different kind of CDs that have rates where you can, adjust them once or twice or something. Typically those have lower APYs. So none of these accounts on this video have that bump up one-time rate or anything like that. So all of these accounts though on this video are fixed rates. So the APY, annual percentage yield, will remain the same for the term length of the CD. And also there is no monthly maintenance fee for any of these accounts. So there's no $2, $3, $5 maintenance fee or anything like that just for having the account open. You're not going to see any kind of fees associated with just having the account open for these accounts. However, there is an early withdrawal penalty that ranges for each of these accounts. Sometimes they'll charge you a certain amount of interest or a certain fee, basically. So if you withdraw your balance of these CDs before the term length expires, whatever it is, 12 months, 6 months, or something like that, if you take your money out before the full term of the CD, then there will be a penalty associated with it. So that's something to keep in mind. And all of these accounts do have that because I do also talk about no penalty CD accounts on my channel. So definitely check out my playlist about CD accounts. So you'll see rankings of no penalty CD accounts. Now, no penalty CD accounts can be withdrawn early throughout the term, basically, and you won't get any kind of fee or penalty associated with them. None of them made this list because they don't have high enough APYs to make this list, but there are some nice no penalty CDs out there that offer around 5% APY. And so that's definitely something to look at. If you want, a CD, you want to hold on to a fixed rate APY for a certain amount of time, but you want some flexibility about getting your money out before that amount of time, then you want to check out no penalty CD accounts. So definitely check out my videos on those if you're interested in that. But all of these accounts right here in this video do have an early withdrawal penalty associated with them because they are all certain term length CDs. And also all of these accounts have various initial deposit requirements. And when I go to each one of them, I'll tell you what that amount is, whether it be $1,000 or $10,000 or no initial minimum deposit requirement. So that is something to keep in mind. When you open these accounts, some of them have a minimum amount that you have to open the account with to even open the account. All right, so we've gone over all the things that these accounts have in common and some of the requirements to make it on my list, specifically the FDIC insurance and that no monthly maintenance fee. Those are two things that I definitely want to see when opening up a CD account, and of course a high APY. So let's get on to the ranking now. And starting at number 5 is the BMO Alto 12-month certificate of deposit account at 5.65% APY. There's no minimum deposit required to open this account, and the interest is compounded daily and credited quarterly. Now, calculation example for this one, if you had $30,000 in this account at that 5.65% APY for 12 months with the interest compounding daily, after 12 months, that $30,000 would be $31,696.09. So the total interest amount of $1,696.09. And BMO Alto is the online-only banking option launched in April 2023 that's a part of BMO Financial Group. BMO Alto offers savings accounts and CD accounts. Bank of Montreal, commonly known as BMO, owns BMO Harris Bank through the holding company BMO Financial Corporation. In the United States, it does business as BMO Financial Group. BMO main formal headquarters is in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And at number 4 on the list is the CIBC 12-month certificate of deposit at 5.66% APY. There is a $1,000 minimum initial deposit required to open this account and a maximum deposit of $5 million. The interest is compounded and credited monthly with this account. So for an example, with this account, if you had $30,000 in this account at 5.66% APY for 12 months with the interest compounding monthly, after 12 months, that $30,000 would be $31,695.39. So you see here the difference with the interest compounding daily versus monthly, because that last account had 5.65% APY, so barely a difference in the APY. However, the interest on that account was compounded daily and the interest on this account was compounded monthly. So even though the APY on this account is slightly higher, with the interest compounding monthly, that total amount of interest that you would get over 12 months is going to be less than the other account because it had the interest compounding daily. So the interest compounding daily versus monthly is small amount. As you see, that's a small amount. It was $31,695.39 for compounding monthly with a 5.66% APY. And then the other account was a 5.65% compounding daily. And after 12 months, it's $31,696.09. So you see just barely less than a dollar amount of a difference right there with the interest compounding daily versus monthly with a slight difference in the APY. So you will get more interest if it's compounded daily versus compounded monthly, but it's a small amount. So it just really just depends on, of course, the greater amount of money you have in the account, the more that amount will be. But with $30,000, you see the difference right there. So I just wanted to note that. And CIBC stands for Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, which is a Canadian multinational banking and financial services corporation headquartered at CIBC Square in the financial district of Toronto, Ontario. CIBC was formed in 1961 through a merger between Canadian Bank of Commerce, which was founded in 1867, and Imperial Bank of Canada, which was founded in 1873. CIBC US, United States, provides commercial, wealth management, personal, and small business financial solutions and cross-border banking services to clients with North American operations, and their U.S. headquarters is in Chicago, Illinois. Coming in at number 3 is the Popular Direct 12-month certificate of deposit at 5.67% APY. There is a $10,000 minimum initial deposit required to open this account, and the interest is compounded daily and credited monthly. A calculation example for this one, if you had $30,000 at 5.67% APY with the interest compounding daily for 12 months, after 12 months, that $30,000 would be $31,705.59. So a total interest amount of $1,705.59. Popular Direct was launched in 2016 as an online-only bank that's a subsidiary of Popular Bank. Popular Incorporated was founded in 1893 and does business as Banco Popular in Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands and Popular Bank in the United States. Popular Direct offers an online savings account and various term CDs. Popular headquarters is in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And at number 2, we have a tie between two accounts. First here we have the Limelight Bank 12-month certificate of deposit at 5.75% APY. There is a $1,000 minimum initial deposit required to open this account, and the interest is compounded daily and credited monthly. An example for this account, if you had $30,000 in this account at 5.75% APY for 12 months with the interest compounding daily, After 12 months, that $30,000 would be $31,724.62. Limelight Bank is an online bank that Capital Community Bank launched in 2017. Capital Community Bank was founded in 1993 with a headquarters in Provo, Utah. The Utah-based community bank positioned Limelight as an eco-friendly alternative to traditional banking. Limelight states that it's involved in eco-friendly initiatives, and Limelight offers multiple term CD accounts. And also tied at number 2 is the Forbright 9-month certificate of deposit at 5.75% APY. There's a $1,000 minimum initial deposit required to open this account, and the interest is compounded daily and credited monthly. Calculation example for this one: if you had $30,000 in this account at 5.75% APY for 9 months with the interest compounding daily, after 9 months that $30,000 would be $31,284.39. So after 9 months, the total interest earned would be $1,284.39. Forbright Bank is a full-service bank and lender. They also have a focus on sustainable finance practices with various initiatives. Forbright Bank was founded in 2003, and their headquarters is in Chevy Chase, Maryland. Forbright Bank offers various personal, business, deposit, and lending accounts. And at number 1 is the Total Direct Bank 6-month certificate of deposit at 5.76% APY. There's a $25,000 minimum initial deposit required to open this account and $1 million deposit maximum. The interest is compounded daily and credited monthly. And this bank also has a couple of other term CDs with high APYs. They have a 3-month CD at 5.66% APY and a 12-month CD at 5.65% APY. Now, this bank does have some exclusions with where the customer is at when trying to open this account. Total Direct Bank can conduct business anywhere in the United States with the exception of Florida, Puerto Rico, American Samoa, Guam, Northern Mariana Islands, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And they state a valid state-issued ID or U.S. passport is required to open this account, which that's pretty much standard with a lot of the accounts. They're going to want to know some information about you, of course. But I did want to notate with this account, they do have an exclusion of a couple of areas where the account cannot be opened at if you are located and have an address in those states and in those areas. So you have Florida, Puerto Rico, American Samoa, Guam, Northern Mariana Islands, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And that's some of the fine print I noticed on the account page for the certificate of deposit accounts with Total Direct Bank. Now, calculation example for this CD account: if you had $30,000 in this account at 5.76% APY for 6 months with the interest compounding daily, after 6 months, that $30,000 would be $30,851.80. So after 6 months, the total interest earned with this account would be $851.80. Total Direct Bank is a division of City National Bank of Florida, which was founded in 1946. The parent company of National Bank of Florida is Banco de Crédito y Inversiones, BCI, one of Latin America's largest banks and the second largest bank in Chile. Total Direct Bank offers various term CDs and money market accounts. And that is it with the video on the top 5 CD accounts ranked by APY for December 2023. If you liked the video, make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Take care.